Welcome to Distressed to Joyful, Bailey's Way. I'm your host, Bailey Reber, here to enlighten you and the rest of the world about one of the most misunderstood mental disorders out there, bipolar disorder. Each week, we're going to learn more about my personal journey with the disorder while leaving you enriched with new information on how you can help better yourself as well as those around you. Hello, beautiful people. Okay, let's jump in and start with some announcements before we get going with the show. So, remember from some older episodes when I was mentioning an Etsy shop I was going to start up and how you haven't really heard anything about that in a while? Because, I'm kind of working two jobs and have a podcast and a million other things going, right? Well, the good news is I'm having an Etsy shop still, and I'm so excited because my sister, Brittany, is working on the logo for my shop. And I am so thankful for her, one, for doing that for me for free, because, she's an awesome sister, duh. But also, I really love that she told me that she's having fun working on this for me, and that just makes me feel so much joy because something that I am putting a lot of effort into and am having fun doing is also being enjoyed by somebody else. So I'm like, yes, that's a win, y'all. That's a win. So be on the lookout. I will be posting about that on social media, and I'll send you an email if you're part of my email group. Once we get that launched, and I'll have a special discount for y'all for, being loyal friends of mine. Yes. But I'm super excited. A lot of the things in my shop are going to be environmentally sustainable. That is very, very important to me. And also, I love to sew and create things. So it's just going to be a blast for you and for me and for everybody involved. Obviously, my sister's loving it too. Come on, y'all. This is great stuff. Oh, holy guacamole. How did I not mention vegan January to y'all? Oh my God. Okay. So let me fill you in a little bit on what that was / what that was like. But just a heads up, I'm going to be posting a blog post about it later on this week where you can get a lot more details and resources. So, guys, if you're not already familiar with the blog and my website, check out whatishaybellsdoing.wordpress.com. The website will be in the link of the episode that you are listening to right this second. Yes, there's a link. It's going to say exactly what I just read to you. whatishaybellsdoing.wordpress.com. Click it. Yes, click it. Go to it. Find some goodies. Yes. Okay. So vegan January. That was, you guessed it, where we ate all vegan for all of January. It's kind of like dry January, when people give up alcohol for all of January. I actually did that. I did dry January in 2019, and I stopped drinking. What do you know? Unfortunately, vegan January didn't turn me, vegan for good like dry January did. But, guys, it was actually a really, really cool experience and a really awesome experiment with our bodies. So my boyfriend, Monish, he did it with me, which made it so much easier to have a built-in accountability buddy. And y'all, funny story. So on our first date on January 19th of 2020, we had talked about this documentary called Game Changers. If you've ever heard of Game Changers, dude, if you haven't watched it though on Netflix, dude, just watch it. Just watch it. It's very interesting research done on veganism and the human body, as well as meat eating in the human body. So it was very powerful stuff. And we talked about that on our first date. And then I don't remember when it was that we decided that we would do a whole month of vegan eating. But together as a couple, we decided to do it. And boom, January 2021 is when we made it happen. And it was a disaster at first. I'm not even going to lie. It was so hard at first. So hard. But it got easier and it got easier as everything does over time. And y'all, I felt amazing. Like, I felt so great. I already have a shit ton of energy, like a shit ton of it. And eating plant based gave me more. It gave me more. And nobody thought that was possible, not even me. And it did. Y'all, if I went vegan full time forever, that would be wild. Like, that would be wild. I would just be so full of energy all the time. It would be cool. I don't think Monish would think it would be cool. He can barely keep up with me now, but yeah, it was fun stuff. Again, I'll go over more details with it, but I recommend that everybody not only watch Game Changers, but try it out just for a month. Just for a month and see how your body reacts. It was good. We've also actually I didn't mention this either. We have moved into vegetarianism. So I'm a full-time vegetarian now. I never thought I would say that. But we might occasionally eat fish, but no chicken. I never ate beef anyways. I'm pretty much done with pork. Y'all, like, this is new stuff and it's good stuff. So yeah. Hello, all of my vegetarian friends. I am now part of your lifestyle. Nice to meet you. Okay. So let's move on into today's episode, anger management. Bailey's way. Okay, so let's get down to business. And unfortunately, not to defeat any Huns. Okay, that was really cheesy, but I watched Mulan recently, if you couldn't tell. I hope some of y'all got that. If not, well, you're lost. Anyways, so today's topic of discussion is obviously anger. Okay, y'all, literally everybody feels the emotion of anger on a regular basis. Yes, even those people who appear like they never get angry, they get angry. Yes, they do. So, first of all, let us define what anger is. So, according to the American Psychological Association, anger is an emotion characterized by antagonism towards someone or something that you feel has deliberately done you wrong. Anger can be a good thing. It can give you a way to express negative feelings, for example, or motivate you to find solutions to problems. But excessive anger can cause problems. Increased blood pressure and other physical changes associated with anger make it difficult to think straight and harm your physical and mental health. So that last bit was adapted from the Encyclopedia of Psychology. I feel like I just need to point that out because none of those words were mine. I stole all of that from American Psychological Association.org. Link is in the show notes. They also say, though, that research has also found that family background plays a role in anger development. So typically, people who are easily angered come from families that are disruptive, chaotic, and not skilled at emotional communications. Holy shit, y'all. If you could see me, I literally just put my head into my hand and just slowly shook it like, oh, that is the answer. That right there is the answer. Typically, people who are easily angered come from families that are disruptive, chaotic, and not skilled at emotional communications. Guys, I came from that kind of family. I came from a very chaotic, very disruptive, and no way at all skilled in communications at all, any kind of communication. That is the type of family I came from. So when I tell you right now that I have always struggled with anger since I was a child, up until now, guys, sometimes I still have problems with it. Not nearly as what it used to be, which I'll get into that in just a moment, but I have always struggled with anger. So when I read that on this website the other day, I was like, oh my God, that is the answer. I was not born angry. Hooray! It's my upbringing that did it. And while that does seem like it's not maybe an answer, some of y'all might be a little confused. Guys, when you can figure out the root of a problem, you can solve it. And for me, I've never really understood why I've been so angry. Okay, I haven't been that angry lately. Let me just throw that out there. It's not like a chronic thing. I'm a much healthier, happier person today. But growing up, and especially in my teenage and early 20s, those years, oh God, I was not fun to be around when anger struck. Like, I was not. I'll be the first to admit it. Let's talk real quick, though, before we continue into all of that path, let's talk real quick about what do you picture when you think of someone who is always angry or hot headed? When you think of someone who's angry, you think of them maybe what? Throwing things, cussing like crazy, yelling and screaming, breaking shit, slamming doors. I mean, those are probably the things that you typically picture when you think of an angry or hot-headed person, right? Okay, so real quick, I want you, if you are not driving, only if you're not driving, stop and look at the photo of this podcast, the cover photo. And you see that girl in that really pretty blue dress, and she kind of looks like a mermaid, and she's smiling and she's happy, and she looks really pretty. I just threw that last bit in. But that's me. That's me. And all of those things that I just mentioned, throwing things, cussing like crazy, yelling and screaming, breaking shit, slamming doors. All of those are ways in which I have behaved in the past when I've been angry. Yeah, all of those things. The biggest one was probably yelling and screaming and cussing. Those always went together. Cussing, yelling, and screaming, 100%. And then slamming doors. That's hands down my favorite way to make people aware that I'm angry, is to slam a fucking door. I don't know why. I've done it as long as I can remember. As a kid, man, I broke my door as a kid. I'm not kidding. I remember the door to my bedroom. First of all, that house is old, and so the foundation was shifting at some point. But it wouldn't close properly because of all the slamming that had happened with it. Like, that's bad, guys. That's bad. But you wouldn't picture that when you look at me, right? You wouldn't think that that girl right there has had problems with anger, past, present, and, well, a little bit of present. Not as much anymore. I will tell you that. Not as much anymore. But it's still sometimes there. Very rarely is it ever that intense anymore. But again, so looking at that girl, looking at me, I have struggled with these things. I have. And I'm pointing that out because I want you to know that you're not alone and that there's no certain look of somebody who has anger, guys, or anger management issues or problems with anger or whatever you want to say. I mean, because if you think of someone who's hothead, you might have a picture of somebody in your head, right? Somebody who you know who gets angry all the time. And those people sometimes are scary. They're sometimes scary. I get that. I've been scary to other people before. I know that I have in the past. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not. But I'm telling you about it and being open and honest because here's the deal. If I can go from being a very angry, slamming doors, breaking shit, yelling and screaming kind of person, not fun to be around when I'm not angry. I don't think that made sense. I think that was a double negative. Anyways, if I can go from that anger shitball to the joyful, happy person that I am today, you can too. Yeah, you definitely can too. And you're also not alone in this. You're not. There are lots of people who struggle with anger. Lots of them. I mean, There is an article on it on the American Psychological Association.org. You, my friend, are not alone. But also, guys, get this. That same article that I just mentioned, which that's three long words. I'm not mentioning them again. APA. I'm abbreviating it. APA.org. Find it in the show notes. Anyways, they say that easily angered people don't always curse and throw things, but sometimes they withdraw socially, they sulk, or they get physically ill. Ooh, plot twist. Remember how I said not everybody looks a certain way when they get angry? Wow, that's it. That's a plot twist right there because I'm sure that you know someone who, when they get mad, when they lose a game, when their favorite sports team loses, when something happens that they don't agree with, they don't do how Bailey reacts. They don't react like me. They don't throw shit. They don't scream. They don't slam doors. No. But they'll walk away and they'll sulk or they'll just withdraw from the whole crowd and everyone around them and just, go off to themselves maybe, right? Yeah, that's still a problem, guys. That's still not a healthy way to deal with emotions because what I would do, I would take mine externally. I would take my anger out on everything and everyone around me. Not okay, not condoning it, but that is how I would behave. But then the opposite of that, as you can see, is somebody who withdraws and keeps it within, which is still not good. Because while me, I would just explode on like a minefield. Oh, like Minesweep. Minesweep when like that stupid game on the computer where you just touch things and all of a sudden you explode. That was the dumbest game that ever on a PC. I don't understand it. But yeah, that's kind of how it was with me sometimes, right? Like all of a sudden you hit the wrong step and boom, I explode. Well, the other problem when you keep it in, that's a different kind of explosion because you can't keep that stuff in forever, guys. You cannot hold in emotions, especially strong ones like anger. Cannot do that. But guess what, guys? I have some good news. There are solutions. Yes, there are solutions and there are ways that you can manage your anger. Wow, who would have thought? Because, the title of this episode is Anger Management. I just like to have fun with you. Anyways, I'm going to keep it real though. I read over all of the suggestions of what you can do from apa.org. And in my opinion, I found that most of them were not very useful. Just in my own personal opinion. Because in their list, the things that they're telling you to work on and to do are meant to help you with anger in the moment so that you don't snap, right? But for me, anger was a lot deeper than that. A lot deeper. And while, yes, some of the things to help in the moment do, exactly that, help in the moment, I had to have some help deeper down than just that. So let me tell you about what helped me to manage my anger emotions. First of all, my therapist. I have said this before and I will say this again as many, many times as I need to. Get yourself a therapist. Seriously. Man, Chelsea has helped me with so many things, but guys, I was angry for the majority of my life. I'm only 27. I'm only 27 years old. And when I tell you that my teenage years and my early 20s were the angriest years of my life, I can still picture even younger ages when anger just took me over. That's a long time of anger sizzling and boiling up inside of me, right? Like a teapot ready to just like blow the top off from all the steam or whatever. I mean, no, a volcano. I like that one better. Let's picture a volcano together, guys. There's a volcano in Hawaii, a very beautiful island. Just beautiful. And then all of a sudden, this volcano has been sizzling for years, and then boom, it explodes and erupts. Yeah, deep seated anger, guys. Deep seated anger from me, like the lava beneath the surface. So, so Chelsea helped me work through a lot of that, and we still have some ways to go, but deep seated stuff take deep seated work, and your therapist can help you with that. Please find one. Please. Another thing is exercise, because exercise gives you endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't kill their husbands. They just don't. Right? Elle Woods, she just said it the best. If you didn't get that movie reference, I feel sorry for you. That's a cute movie. Oh, I love Elle Woods. I love it. I'm not going to tell you what movie that is. I'm just going to put it in the show notes. Haha. You have to go find it if you don't know. Anyways. Seriously, though, on the topic of exercise, y'all, weight training changed my life. It really did. With Camp Gladiator, oh my God. So I never was a weightlifter ever until I found Camp Gladiator back in 2018. And what I learned in 2019 is that when I had a bad day at work and I'm just so pissed off and stressed out and angry, and I go straight from work to Camp Gladiator, and we have dumbbells and we have sandbags and we have slam balls. Oh man, I'm going to hump those dumbbells really hard, which might not always be the best thing, but I mean, it worked wonders for my body in more ways than one. It helped me lose weight and gain muscle. Boom. That's good. But the sandbags and the slam balls, guys, we would take these sometimes. We haven't done it in a long time because of COVID, but we would take these sandbags and these slam balls and you pick them up and you slam them on the ground. And it's a really great exercise because it uses your whole body, uses your muscles and your legs and your glutes and your arms and your core, but also it lets you get aggression out. And it's great. It really is great, and it releases all those endorphins, and then you leave, and you're just like, huh, I feel so much better. That slam ball I was just beating, I just pictured it as the person who pissed me off today, and life feels great now. It does. Yes, it does. Seriously, get yourself a slam ball or a sandbag that you can do that with. But also, please, for my sake and your trainers as well, learn the proper form when doing it, because we don't want any injuries. You don't want to feel it in your back. You want to find some videos on YouTube to learn how to do it properly. And then please use your slam ball and beat it when you need to. Or a punching bag. That works too. Whatever floats your boat. But also for a more, calming exercise, running. Running is super therapeutic. Oh, on so many levels. Getting on a treadmill is good because then you don't have to worry about going off course. I always found that going to a park that has a loop. So we have in Houston, we have the Memorial Park loop, and it's just like a 3-mile loop that you run, and you don't have to worry about cars or crossing street lights or bicycles. All there are runners and walkers on it. And you can get lost out there in your head without getting lost in the park. It's a good thing because when you're running and you're thinking about the things, it's a therapy in its own way that I really can't describe without just saying, go do it. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. I promise you, it does help a lot. But also yoga, guys. Yoga is very calming and relaxing. And that one can really, really help just to center yourself. I haven't been doing yoga a lot lately. I keep saying I'm going to, and one of these days I'll get back into it. But because of COVID, I've gotten out of it because I used to go do hot yoga, and I won't be around people like that right now. But it really, really is good for centering your mind, your body, everything. And the stretching is great for your body just in general. So those three have really helped me in the long run with keeping myself balanced and at bay when it comes to that kind of stuff. But a couple other things that help as well, meditation. Meditation has been pushed on me by a couple different people, my psychiatrist, my therapist, a former boss, yada yada. But I found that meditation actually helped as well because again with the whole centering, guys, same thing and deep breathing. You can do deep breathing while you do meditation. I mean, I not know anything about meditation when I got started with it. And the Headspace app, again, link in the show notes, will really, really help guide you through that. I use the free version just over and over and over again. And eventually you don't even need it. You can do it on your own. But it walks you through it and it is very calming and centering, and that needs to be done on a daily basis, guys. That's one of those things that you need to just do every day and get in the habit. 2 minutes out of your day, it will help you so much more than I can explain. Just please do it. I promise you. Do some research on it too. I'll drop a couple links in the show notes as well. Journaling. Brene Brown told me to do this in one of her books. She really did. Yes, but when you're feeling angry about something, guys, sometimes this is more of a if you are alone or, you're angry about something and the person is not there in front of you, or if you have to exit the situation so you don't escalate the situation, go and journal about it. Write down everything that you feel because what you do, it's like venting. If you write it down, you get it out of you. You get it out and you release it from your body. And then you feel better. And if you can do that on a regular basis, especially journaling with what makes you angry, you can then pinpoint what exactly is triggering this anger inside of you. And if you can find those triggers, you can start to figure out how to solve them. And not so much solve them, but to figure out solutions to not let these things get to you. Don't let these little things have so much power over you to where you react in behaviors that are not acceptable. Guys, throwing shit, yelling, screaming, slamming doors, and cussing, while I have done all of those and more, they're not acceptable. I'm not proud of them. And I don't like when those things come out of me. I don't. But doing these things I've just mentioned, exercise, meditation, journaling, deep breathing, seeing my therapist, all of these on a regular basis, along with a healthy diet, has really helped. It has really, really helped. And one more thing that I'm going to mention, which is going to sound really, really weird, but just hear me out, is screaming. Now, you're not going to be screaming at somebody. No. Oh, hell no. You're not going to be screaming at somebody. But guys, sometimes I've had so much anger and rage inside of me before where I'm sitting in my car. Like, I'll be parked in my car or I'll have to pull over and park my car and I hold on to the steering wheel and I just fucking scream. And usually my arms are shaking while I do it and it's really weird and I'm probably crying while I'm screaming and it's just not a good time. But every time I've done it, I have felt so much better afterwards. Like a literal release of whatever it was that was built up inside of me. And you know what's actually really, really cool about this whole screaming thing is that yesterday I was watching This Is Us. Guys, if you haven't seen it, I think I've mentioned it before, please watch it. It is so good. It hits you in the feels in so many places. But on the most recent episode of This Is Us, screaming was used as a way to release sad emotions from the past, and I was like, "Oh my god, yay." I watched that and I was like, "That's amazing that they are showing that on this show as a way to cope." Going out on your own and not screaming at somebody and not really just screaming anything, just fucking screaming, and how releasing it feels afterwards. And the fact that they showed this on the show, guys, like, I'm tearing up because I've done that for years. And I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that I would do things like that, but I always felt better afterwards. So I was like, whatever. Nobody knows I've done this, by the way. Y'all are all hearing this for the very first time. Like, I've never, ever told this to a single person. But seeing it on TV, that's to the masses, to be shown as like, hey, this is normal. This is something that you can do to help you feel better. It was like, wow, okay. It's not just me. It is not just me. Like, this is, yeah, it was just a really, really cool moment. Just for, to know that you're not alone. There are other people who do things like that, and that also that it's acceptable. If they're showing it on a feel-good TV show, not just any kind of TV show, guys, on like a feel-good, very emotionally connected TV show, I'm like, damn, okay, I can keep doing this then. like, like that is okay. Oh man. Seriously though, if you haven't watched This Is Us, it's season 5, episode 6, I want to say, is the one. You gotta watch it. All of it, please. For your own sake. All right. So I really hope that these things have not only given you some new ideas of ways to help with your own anger management, but also I hope it's really opened up your eyes to know that you are not alone. There are many, many, many of us who have been holding on and balling up inside anger that we shouldn't be and letting it consume us, but there's ways out. And if I can find my way out, you can find yours out too. All right. Now it is time for What a Weirdo! I still don't know if like that's what I should use for the intro of this. I don't know. Y'all need to tell me, please. I need some opinions on that. But guys, this is literally the perfect episode for me to spill this weirdo part of myself to all of y'all. So, here goes. One weird thing that I love to do. Like, I love to do. I haven't gotten to do this in a while, but I love to take like ceramic dishware and glassware and just smash the hell out of it just to break it. Yes. Like, oh my God. I remember the first time I ever did that. This is gonna sound crazy, and I probably already sound crazy, and that's cool. Think what you want. So, when I was a kid, my sister and I, oh, she's going to kill me for mentioning her in this story, but we went to a garage sale when we were like 13 and 14, right? We rode on our bikes. It was a Saturday. We found this garage sale, and they had a ton of ceramic dishware for like 10 cents each. So we bought it. We bought a bunch of it. We put it in our backpacks, and we hopped on a bike, and we went down to this park near my parents' house, and we just stood there and we just smashed every single plate. And guys, I can still picture this vividly in my head, and I probably, both of us, probably look like psychopaths doing this, but it was so much fun. And like, you just take the plate and just smash it on the ground, and you take the cup and you just smash it on the ground. You don't need a baseball bat. You don't need anything but your hands and somewhere to smash it. And it's just so much fun. And that probably sounds absolutely crazy to half of y'all, but some of y'all are probably on my level and agree with me that, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I know my friend Derek does. He's probably going to hate me for mentioning his name too, but we've talked about how fun, how fun it is to smash glassware. So if you ever invite me over for dinner, just keep me away from the china because you never know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But still, that's my weirdo habit. It's not a habit. I don't do, I don't do that on a regular basis. But that's my weirdo little quirk thing that I like to do. So there's mine for this week. I'll have a new one for you next week until y'all start rolling them in, until all y'all get comfortable with the weirdness and with spilling some beans, because I've got lots of beans to spill, but I want to spill your beans too. I do. Okay. So what you can expect for next week is we're going to do some therapy talk. Yes, I'm going to walk you through what it was like when I first started therapy 9 years ago versus what it's like now. It's going to be very, very interesting. So you don't want to miss it. Nope, you don't. And as always, thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed this episode, just take a screenshot of it and post it on your social media. You can tag distressed to joyful _ Bailey's Way on Instagram. I would really, really appreciate you spreading the word about how much you enjoy the show. Because the more the merrier, right? Right. Also, if you listen on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, it's the same thing. I flip-flop between the two words. But if you have an iPhone and you listen on that platform, leave your girl a review. Pretty please, and thank you so much. But until next time, take it easy, stay grateful, and be joyful. Bye!